Out of the many different places that we looked at in this course, one of the things that stood out to me the most was the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. It has so many interesting examples of American history through the art that's displayed throughout the building. It gives a teacher the opportunity to go into this building and fine-tune a lesson to the particular topic or subject that they wish to depart to their students. The room that I thought was the most significant in the ability to have an educator be able to fine-tune a particular lesson for their students was that of the Statuary Hall. This is a particular part of the Capitol building that displays different statues that have been donated by each state. The idea and concept came about in the 1850s when the Capitol was under renovation and they were moving from one portion of the building to another, and they left a vacant place where the old chamber once was. And this gave them an opportunity to use it as a place to display the nation's history. And in doing so, in 1864, Congress passed a resolution that would allow each state to donate 2 statues that would represent each state. And what I find particularly interesting about this ability to go look at these statues is that it gives a great sense of history, not only as our nation as a whole, but of the individual states. I really like how it looks at this nation is one nation, but yet there are 50 individual states, and each state has contributed to the history of this nation. When looking at Statuary Hall in and of itself, there is a rich story and history within the examination of this initiative within itself. It tells the story of an ever-growing nation. When they first put this into place at the end of the Civil War, there was only so many states. And over time, by 1933, we see this story unfold that there is becoming so many statues in Statuary Hall that they could no longer hold comfortably the amount of statues that they had. So Congress would eventually have to pass another resolution allowing these statues to be distributed all throughout the building. So the story of Statuary Hall itself is a very important part of the story of our nation, that we are ever growing, that we're not just one finite thing. It's ever changing and expanding. So the story of Statuary Hall in itself is the story of America, something that's growing and changing. And even further in an education standpoint, an individual who is going to go in and explore these particular statues that are all throughout the Capitol building has the ability to fine-tune a particular topic. For the case of this course, there will be statues that have to do with colonial era individuals like George Washington from Virginia, or even a little bit earlier into the early colonies like Massachusetts would have John Winthrop. These would give us an opportunity to look at the pre-colonial era as an educator trying to dispense information to individuals about a particular time period. What I thought was really fun when I went through and explored the different statues that were all throughout the Capitol building was I looked at, if I was going to take an individual or a group of students from my state, California, what would I want to express about our state as being part of the whole of the nation, and what statues were placed there by California? And it was Ronald Reagan and Father Junipero Serra. And that in itself just lends to a very interesting ability to be able to fine-tune a lesson to give students about the contributions of our state of California in the greater national whole. Statuary Hall and the Capitol building as a whole is an excellent place for an educator to craft a lesson that is tangible and hands-on for students to grasp the importance of history by being there and experiencing a place where great history has unfolded.